Hello! Today's video is basically a plan with me, but as you can see, I'm doing the one for October this year, which is kind of way in advance. So my friend dubbed this strategy cramming in advance. I do this in order to decrease procrastination. I know I'm going to be very busy throughout the school year, so I do these plannings in advance so that I can use my planners throughout the year without having to set up the planning system while I'm very busy. So since I have this opportunity of a long and sort of visually boring video, I've decided to talk about IB, and I've kind of been wanting to make a video for IB tips. For those of you who don't know, IB stands for International Baccalaureate, and it's a diploma program that people can take all around the world. So, who should take IB? I'm gonna start talking about the pros and cons. I think that the people who should take IB are people who like interdisciplinary studies. By this I mean, if you know that you're gonna do like engineering, for example, and you just want to take math, chemistry, and physics, do British A-levels and do those three. Don't do IB because IB requires that you take 6 classes in specific groups, so you will have to deal with another class like psychology. So if you are okay with taking 6 classes in different fields, then you'll be happy with taking IB. Another thing, I think if you're gonna survive, you better be some level of smart and hardworking. I don't mean you have to be a genius, but I mean you have to know that you're gonna have to work pretty hard just to pass sometimes. And if you want good grades, you'll have to work harder than that. It's very time consuming as there are many requirements to meet, but it is doable if you're organized. Another pro to IB is that it's accepted around the world as a rigorous curriculum, and it prepares you for the rigor of university. Another pro to taking IB is that it's easier for you to apply to universities in UK, Canada, and Australia. I don't know much about applying to UK and Australia, but I know that for Canada, if you apply using full IB diploma, you do not have to take the SAT. And this saves you money and it's very convenient. Of course, if you're applying to US as well, then you have to take it anyway, but still. The biggest cons, I would say, is that there are way too many requirements, and hence it's overkill. You will work yourself to death, you will not have a social life, or you will not sleep, and you'll be either a zombie or a nerd. So choose wisely. Some people drop out of IB, but yeah, it's not that bad if you don't make it that bad. I'm going to talk about choosing classes. The requirements are that you take 3 higher level courses and 3 standard level courses. And this is where I kind of get mad because British A-levels, oh my god, they just take 3 classes and they're basically the same as IB higher level courses. But then we have to deal with standard level courses as well, which is kind of annoying because the difference between standard level and higher level isn't that big for many subjects. For example, for English literature, higher levels just have to read 3 more books than standard levels. Sometimes it's more or less than that, but about 3 books. And the expectations on exams is just a little bit higher, so it's harder to get a higher grade because you have to be more eloquent in your writing. But that's it. However, for other subjects like math is the one where the SL-HL difference is huge. People who get 5s in HL can probably easily get 7s in SL. if you're going to take HL math, this is what my math teachers told me, you better be a math nerd. And I wasn't sure that I was one of those, but I decided to try it anyway. It's easier to start in HL and then drop to SL for math than to start in SL, realize it's too easy for you, and then try moving to HL because you will basically never catch up. The pace is so different. They go really fast and they cover a lot more content. That said, in HL math, they don't cover everything. By the way, we did not learn how to multiply matrices, and I don't know much about ellipses and circles because we didn't really cover those. Also, for choosing your classes, I would say think about how easy or hard it is going to be for you. That was my priority. Another priority was interest. Also, if you know what teachers are going to be teaching what subject, then look into that because that might be important for you at your specific school. So the classes I take will be shown on the screen over here. Yes, I take 4 HLs, but that's just because I decided to change English literature to an HL afterward, because the difference between SL and HL, like I said, for English literature, it's really not that much. The third thing I'm going to talk about is organization tips, especially for long projects like the extended essay. For us, we were assigned the extended essay and we had 1 year to do it. Honestly, all the time that I took actually working on it, if you compressed all of that, it probably been about a week. So what most people say is, like, for example, every Monday set like 30 minutes and then you work on it for 30 minutes every Monday, and that way you'll get it done eventually. That's what works for a lot of people. For me though, I basically cram 2 days of research, and then I don't do anything for a few months, and then I cram 3 days of writing the first draft or so, and then I don't do anything for another few months, and then I cram another 3 days editing and whatever, and then I basically finish the EE within like a week total, way before the deadline, but everything is crammed up in 2 or 3 day sessions where I just work on EE and nothing else, or almost nothing else, because that's what works for me. Despite having an advanced cramming system, I still end up procrastinating a little bit. And procrastinating for me is alright because I always get things done on time, because I do half of the things that I have to do way beforehand, like 2 weeks before it's due, and then I do the rest of it like 2 days before it's due or so. And hence, you're not actually procrastinating everything, you're procrastinating half of the things. It also helps that I'm a relatively fast worker. There are people who can write very fast and people who take forever to do anything. How fast you work is going to be a big factor in how much free time you have, if you have a social life, how much sleep you're going to get while doing IB. Finally, it's quite clear, but please have some sort of organizing system, like a planning system. Basically what I'm creating right now in this notebook, as you can see. Just have some way to write down everything that's going to happen during the week, all your tasks, and find a way to be organized. The last blob of things I'm going to talk about is class-specific advice. So, art. Planning is key. You have to plan out how you're going to simultaneously do the comparative study, the process portfolio, and create artworks. Like, all of us get headaches that we have to do a process portfolio and a comparative study. It's not fun. Like, the fun part for us is like making artworks. So I would recommend that if you just want to make artworks, do AP. Both for math and English, it's about skill. For English, how eloquent can you write? How concise can it be? How can you make it sound very academic but also emotional? And your analysis has to be quite detailed. For math, I realized that it's about problem solving, especially with problems you've never seen before. Like, you have to know what to do in unfamiliar situations. My only advice there is think of what do you know, what formulas do you have, are they applicable here, what pieces of information are given, and how can you use all of the pieces of information given to find out what you need to find out. The last subject I'm going to talk about is psychology. I think success in psych comes down to like 2 or 3 things, okay? Number 1, critical thinking skills. That is so you can evaluate studies and theories and use that in your essays. Second thing is writing skills, especially for essays, but all of your exams are written. Third thing's memorization, because you have to remember all the studies and the theories and the details, like the researchers' names and the years and what participants were part of the study, etc. I would like to wish everybody good luck, and I hope that you find a good balance between your social life, your work and school life, and sleep.